Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a birthday card using several new products from my favorite things, and this one is my entry for the current Color Challenge 169. It has been a while since I participated to a challenge from my favorite things. Time has been slipping away, so I I didn't participate. Sometimes we just cannot make the extra time for a lovely challenge. But this one, truly, the colors are amazing, and I'm trying to recreate these colors using my Copic markers today. So first of all, I am starting with this adorable image. This one is called Beautiful Birthday Girl. It's from my favorite things, as I said before, and this one is illustrated by Rochelle Anna Miller. I love her designs. I'm also on her design team, coloring in some digital stems from her. But this one, well, it also exists in a digital one, so maybe you have that one. It was released this month as a clear stamp at My Favorite Things, and this was one of those stamps that I still had to get from Rochelle Anna Miller. So now that it's in a clear stamp, I can scrap this one off my list and just get me some other digital stamps that aren't clear ones yet. So I'm coloring with my Copic markers. This paper is Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper, and I stamped the image out using Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. Now, as always, I'm coloring from darkest to lightest, and I return at least twice. However, with skin tones, I realize that I go back and forth more often to get that blend that I want. Now, except for the skin and this bear, I truly tried to use the colors from the color challenge. So the hair is going to be blonde, but I think it represents one of the colors. And I have a red combination on the dress that sort of is a resemblance of the color in the challenge. And then on the balloons, I'm using several teals to represent the two teals in this color challenge. So if you're wondering where the colors are going to end up, that's what I was thinking. I must admit the red combination that I used today on the dress is the first time actually that I use this one, and I love it. So I definitely don't think it will be my last. I just took the hex chart that I have with all my Copic markers on and tried to see how I could recreate that wonderful coral red color that is sort of in this challenge, and I came up with this combination, and as I said, I love it. So I definitely will try to recreate some cards or make some cards just using this color. It will take some time to find some new, well, some new free time to get going with that idea, but I promise I will reuse this combination. So going over it several times to get my blend that I want, and then I'm going to use parts of this combination to do the shoes and the, well, I don't know how you call it in English, but the high socks. Well, I see it as socks, but it can be a legging or some pants, I don't know, anything you want. I'm going to use some of the markers from this combination. It's something that I do often, but also something that I think can be really useful if you're new to Copic markers or any alcohol markers and you want to start with some combinations, that you have a combination of, for example, 3 colors. That was how I started. And then actually you have that combination, but you can leave the lightest one and the darkest one out if you want to. And then you have 2 more combinations. You can even do a tip to tip and have a 4th combination maybe. It all depends on the color and the markers you chose. But there are many possibilities to get started with Copic markers. I don't own them all. I hope to one day own them all, but I don't need to at this moment. And I don't think that anyone that is starting with markers, definitely the Copic ones, because they are not really price friendly. Anyone who is starting with markers, there are ways to get more use out of a limited amount of them. So here I'm doing some blonde hair, doing some flicking. I said it many times before, if you're struggling with hair, I had that like since this year. I'm actually coloring people, and they are really cute ones, so not a realistic kind, but I didn't do that last year and the year before that and such, because I wasn't comfortable with coloring hair, because I like this, that you sort of see the different hair colors going into the other one and the highlight and those things. I really love it, and I wanted to be able to do that, and I couldn't. Now, what really helped me was using illustrations that guide you, and I said it many times before already in videos. There are several illustrators, and Rochelle Anna Miller is one of them, that really helps you, because she is using more lines in the hair itself, and it's all about following those lines or extending them, or just do the same, well, how can I express it? If you try to mimic the lines next to it and just follow the shape of the lines and the hair and itself, then it will get you a long way. Last month, my favorite things also added Tiddly Ink. It's also an illustrator with adorable images. I love them. I tried them out last month, and Tiddly Ink's illustrations also are truly a blessing, if you ask me. There are even more lines to guide you to color the hair like this than on the Rochelle Anna Miller images, and I already loved the help that I got there. So if you're wondering, just if you're wondering, that's how it all started for me, and it really helped me with this kind of coloring for the hair. And today it's a really subtle coloring. There isn't a lot of contrast, but I have colored many more with more contrast. If you want to check that out, there are a lot of videos with Rochelle Anna Miller already. I also share on YouTube. You have also a tab with community. There I share links to videos when I'm posting on other social media, well, on other YouTube channels. For example, the Rochelle Anna Miller YouTube channel. I'm active there with the new releases, and sometimes also for other cards. Just if you want to check it out, there is so many inspiration, and I'm not the only one coloring like this. There are many more experienced people that can show you this. Also, coloring with Amy on Facebook, amazing. She's, well, she colors spectacular. So many ways to check it out, to try it out even. But personally, I think let yourself be guided by some illustrations that guide you. I also colored some of those adorable well, people from, for example, Mama Elephant, the agenda images, and there it's really hard to do it this way because it's really tiny. But I never was able to do it like this. Then it was more like the shadowing of clothing or the faces that I did there as well on the hair. I prefer it like this if I can do it, and these images really helped me. Okay, while I was blabbing away about the hair, but I know that it's difficult because even, well, as I say, I'm not an expert, so I'm struggling from time to time. But with these illustrations and Tiddly Ink, those two are my favorites to really get to know the lay of the land with hair. So that's why I'm repeating it all the time, because there are so many people who are like saying, I cannot do that. And I think you can even find videos of me where I said that as well. But like from before January, let us call it like that. And then I started experimenting with these ones, and everything's changed. Okay, back to the card. I already colored everything now. I have taken an A2 sized panel. This one is cut out with the basic rectangles from my elephant. It's one of those basics. Everyone has basics in their craft room. This basic rectangles is one that I use all the time. I also don't think that I have stitching on A2 sized dies, except for this one, and I really like a stitching detail on the edges of my panels. So another thing is that I really cannot trim my panel straight and perfect for a card panel, so I need some help with the dies. So that's good. So I have this amazing new watercolor freeform stencil from My Favorite Things. They came out with 3 this time, a rectangle and a square as well. I also bought those, so I will be making cards with those as well because it's stunning. And then last release they even had like a border, which I also have and I love. I used it on a card, but I didn't film that one, but it's on my blog and Instagram if you want to check that out. It was my Father's Day card that I made with it, using some Streamside Studio products. But at a side, I used cracked pistachio, and then I added some splatters as well using Evergreen Bough. So making sure that I'm happy with the layout, I tried everything again, but the initial layout that I had in my mind was still the best one, I thought. I love all the sentiment in this stamp set. Also something that I find really handy concerning the Rochelle Anna Miller, the stamp sets have amazing sentiments. You have to be honest about that. And then you have the digital stamps from Rochelle Anna Miller. Very often there aren't any sentiments with it, and even if there is a sentiment included, then you don't necessarily need to use it. But I see so many ways of combining these sentiments from the stamp sets from Rochelle Anna Miller at My Favorite Things. You can combine them really easily with digital stamps as well, and then you are, well, you don't need to worry about finding a sentiment that will fit. And I like that. I love that actually. And I love the script on these sentiments. It's subtle, but it's big, and I love it. So for embellishments today, I'm in a new phase, but I will not be able to share the cards that I'm making at the same moments right after each other. So you might not notice, but I'm again in some sort of a phase where I really love using bubbles, and especially the iridescent bubbles. These are the iridescent bubbles Tiny from Studio Katia. I love them. They are subtle, but they are there, and depending on how you're turning and twisting the card, you will see other colors and they will fit with the images or the background that you have, and I just love that about iridescent embellishments. Now I'm not only going to add these, I'm also going to add some glossy accents that I will do on the balloons. Of course, whenever I have balloons, I will add glossy accents. And you just saw me adding the glossy accents to the tip of my finger. It's something that I do to prevent having those air bubbles in my glossy accents. So I just test it out before I go to my project. Then the bubble is out, and then it's all about going fluently over the image that you want to add glossy accents on, and this way they will normally not get any bubbles in. If you might see a bubble coming close to the tip of the glossy accents, then you can again put it onto your finger and maybe it's fixed like that. So that's my card for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you will take a look at the challenges at My Favorite Things and maybe you want to participate as well. I wish you all an amazing day, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!